If you're feeling overwhelmed and struggling with all the stuff you got to manage with your business, team, or life, well, stay tuned in this video and ask us anything. My goal is to take learning lessons from clients, from time management consulting, from the week, and to just speak into them so that we can bring you value for your time, your money, and your mental energy. Well, my name is Brad, and I've been running business operations and time management consulting for about 15 years. I had multiple companies. Once I learned this stuff, I had multiple companies ranked in the top productivity by employee for over 13 years, top sales by employee. And once we learned this, we set a growth record in sales in the industry because we freed up so much time and mental energy that we just learned how to run things a lot better. But I think the big thing is really, it's not just getting half your time back, it's freeing up your mind, learning how to get everything out of the head into simple, trackable systems. And when that happens, your mental energy goes from being overwhelmed, stressed out, and worried into creative and free and peace of mind. And this is really about just your time freedom. Like, I believe that you're here to work to live. And when you have that free time, that not only do you have the time, but you also have the presence to go be doing what you love with the people that you love as much as possible. And what's awesome about this, you can drop a comment at any time. What is your biggest pain point, or what is something that you would love to know? And if I have the answer, I'll connect you with it. I'll do a video on it. And if I don't have the answer, I am connected to a plethora of other business efficiency experts in BizOps that I'm happy to connect you with based on the industry. So what happened this week is a huge increase in efficiency or productivity around a part of a morning routine. And in this morning routine, we simply set up a morning scorecard. And part of that scorecard was actually jumping beyond the system and actually managing the mental emotions of what is happening with the people and the self. So what doesn't get measured doesn't get managed, right? So imagine this scorecard. First question, what's your sleep score? Like, we all got like Oura rings as well as had the smartwatches. What's your sleep score? What is, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your emotional well-being on a scale from 1 to 10? Like, how do you feel? And then what is your energy level, mental and physical, on a scale from 1 to 10? And when you start to measure things and you increase the feedback loop from like monthly to weekly to daily, and you ask the question, this question comes first. What is not working? Stop doing this. Start doing this. These are the ideas that we can have. And maybe what should we continue doing? And it's important to ask what has stopped working first, because it's important to say, what can we eliminate first? Because that will free up the time and the mental energy. And it's just a decision. It's a 1-second decision, and you can start to free that stuff up. And in that feedback loop, the 1-3-1 is very powerful, especially when you're talking with a team, because I don't know about you, I can't stand it when people complain without offering any solutions. Like, it's so annoying. And there's a principle on a solution-oriented culture to say, okay, if we're going to stop doing this, or you're coming with a complaint, come with a clear problem. Here's a clear problem. Number 1, stop doing this. 3, what are 3 possible solutions? 1, what's the one you recommend? Like, it's great. And so the second part of the feedback loop is, what is working, right? Continue doing this. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And start doing this. What might be other ideas that we can actually bring into the play? So by adding these into the morning routine and actually accompanying the emotional aspects in addition to the financials, because having a high emotional ROI for yourself and the team matters, right? People aren't running businesses to have great money at the expense of your health and time freedom and things like that. Like, that is pointless. And here's a great example around sleep. These are one things that I noticed that are so simple that will drive my sleep to amazing or send it down and just to the dumps. Stop consuming anything at least a couple hours before bed, like around 8 p.m. Literally no more food and drink. Stop tech, at least TV, a couple hours before bed. Start dark and start cold. You do those things in under 5 minutes, the decision, it's crazy what happens with the sleep. And in the morning, within the first 30 minutes, to get natural blue light into the eyes. Like that's just a real world example, right? You're like, same with like just this energy, even starting to fast, of like stopping to eat at like 8 p.m. and attempting to fast until about 12 or 1 will skyrocket your energy. But what I want you to realize, it's the systematic behavior. When you learn to get everything out of the head in your business and life playbook, and you really focus on what are the best practices, what are the agreements between us, and what are the routines that we're doing to keep this together, and you automate that so it prompts you what to do when, that's when a leak-proof system starts to come in. That's when you start to free up so much of your time and mental energy. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, in my experience, these are the two big factors. One, if I ask you this question, regarding everything you got to do, all your scheduling, your projects, and the recurring nature of your business and life, how much are you managing in your head versus it being written out somewhere, at least somewhere? And if you answer more than 50% or all, that is your number one time killer and source of your overwhelm, because this conscious mind isn't made to hold the ideas. It's so limited. Now, if you're out of your head and then it's scattered everywhere, you have different people using different places and different things. Maybe you're using paper and you're trying to keep track of all these like hundreds of projects that you got to do every day, and you got hundreds of new ones that are added. You got inboxes coming out of your ears. When you don't have a complete, simple set of tools, it's kind of like going into the kitchen or the job without a tool that really helps you. It's like going to a kitchen, like, hey, you need a fork, a spoon, and a knife, and some pots and pans. It's like missing a spoon and you're eating a lot of soup with the business. It's like going into a job site, you know, without a hammer. Like it just doesn't make sense. So if you're missing like a project or task tool or a business playbook or a life playbook for your recurring routines, you don't know how to manage those. Those are big things, but you get to wrap those up. And if you don't have those best practices and agreements, routines to keep it all together, you will be consistently wondering in your mind all day long, all week long, if anything's fallen through the cracks. What's amazing, these are super easy to solve. Literally, for most people, you can show them how to get half their time back and all their mind in under a week. I've seen full business teams that are extremely busy that have pain points that sync up with easy solutions on how they're managing all their inboxes, their projects and tasks, the team communication, the business playbook. I've seen people free up a minimum of 25% of their time in under 2 weeks if they just took it seriously and they brought their car in for a pit stop for a day or two and they put all the massive, awesome enhancements on it. Next thing you know, literally you're back on the racetrack of your business and life. And within one day, you passed yourself. And then that way you have so much more capacity, but you're running your show. Now, instead of having the gas pedal pressed to the fucking full extremes where you're just running inefficiently with low tires and bad gears and everything, now you just barely hit the gas pedal and you're just off and running. Like that's what's there. So to bring this all back, the masteries and the routines when it comes to your time management for your time and mental freedom. And why not bring in the emotional KPIs of your sleep, your emotional well-being, and your mental and physical energy to check in on those and have the feedback loop of stop doing this, continue doing this, start doing this, and having that culture of a 1-3-1 format. If you'd like a free review of your system, literally, it only takes me 15 minutes. Drop a comment or DM, I'll send you the link. One thing I'll guarantee, 15 minutes can save you 500 to 1,000 hours per year. I will leave you better than you found it. I will look at some things. Maybe your inboxes are hell. Maybe you suck at email. Maybe your team communication sucks and you're all in Slack PTSD. Maybe you just can't figure out which project task tool to have. Maybe you do have the project task tool, which is a lot of my customers that they do have it, but it just turns into this crazy ball of spaghetti and it's just a total shit show and they don't know how to keep it together. You could solve it in a day. It can be solved in a day, but almost all of them too don't have a business playbook, which no wonder they're not adaptable and scalable. No wonder they're running around wondering what needs to be done, how often, and triple checking on things on all the time. Literally, I promise you, if you take 15 minutes on doing that, I will save you at least 15 minutes per week. That's a 5,000% return on your time, but it's 100% return on the thing that matters most is your time and your mental energy that's there. So is there anyone that you like that you know is overwhelmed in how they're running it all? They're buried. You got no free time for yourself, your friends, your loved ones. You got things wondering if they're falling through the cracks all the time. That's so easy to fix. Drop a comment, drop a note. Happy to support. Hey, be your own hero for the most precious asset in your life, your free time and mental energy.